What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Diablo Immortal video. Today I'm here with Misery Hates Company, and we're going to be talking about the recent update that dropped inside of Diablo Immortal and all of the new changes that have come to the game and just a general state of the game. I feel like this is good to do from time to time, and I like hanging out with Misery Hates Company. Thanks for coming through, man. I appreciate you taking the time to hang today. What's going on? What's new?
Oh, you know, I've been crazy busy with work. We've been trying to set this up for a hot minute, but I'm glad to be here. Glad we found some time, and actually been very much enjoying the game. So looking forward to talking about state of the game.
All right, there's your little spoiler right there, your little teaser that he's happy with things so far, which is cool. And I also have been busy with work, but wouldn't it be nice if we could just play Diablo Immortal and make videos all day?
Yeah.
It would be great.
That's the dream.
One day. But hey, a bunch of things came to the game. Let's jump on over to the patch notes really quickly just to take a look. Survivor's Bane. Let's talk about Survivor's Bane to start, because in all honesty, it's probably one of the most fun things for me to play inside of the game. And it's the most mobile game experience that Diablo Immortal has ever brought. A couple of the changes that came where they changed and made some of the attacks a bit stronger this time around, and they changed how you could do a little bit more of an endless, like you can keep going back in to go for longer, and the rewards seem pretty good too. What are your thoughts of this, and how much have you messed around with it since this new patch?
Yeah, so first off, I love this game, this game mode, but not only me, my son does. So he loves when I'm in my, content closet, is like I like to call it, and he just wants to play Diablo Immortal. So he actually likes to play this because it's not too complex. He can play with just the mouse. He's 5, so he can't handle it too much with like the keyboard and mouse, but he loves this game mode, played it and beat like the first level by himself and just thought he was like king of the world. But for the game changes themselves, I love how much battle pass points we're getting. I think there's like a couple for like 80 and then a whole bunch for 30. That was pretty insane. So those rewards feel good, and that's I think what they were referring to when they talked about like the buff. Yeah, and there's some 60s in there. To like how many your rewards you're gonna get. But I did think it was interesting. I think they just reallocated it instead of like nerfing it, because some people I've seen comments saying like they're nerfing the what you get from each individual game. So it used to like fill our bags after you finish like a endless mode, and now you get about like a third of your bag. But I think the majority of rewards are less like that and more so like at the screen you're looking at on the actual event screen. But I love it. I think it's a great game mode.
I do too, and I actually spoke about this in the video, how I love it so much. I kind of wish it was in the game all the time. But if it were, it would be a little less special too, and it would kind of become a normal thing. So I do like the rotation of events. This one is by far my favorite one. And you just reminded me, I didn't remember that these reset every week. So many battle points, and you could get...
Oh wait, they reset just now? Like for the... Oh, they did, you're right.
They reset again.
Oh my God.
So like, you can get, I mean, I didn't do any math here, but you could probably get what, 400 battle point progression, which brings us to the issue of when you're trying to get your battle pass done, you run, like just yesterday, I was already tapped out. I couldn't do any more. It wouldn't allow me to gain anymore. So for here, I actually claimed everything this morning. I went from like 15 on the battle pass to 36, so a lot of battle points. But check it out, the rewards, I'm only at 60 of 2,400. So I guess all the ones that I collected and didn't turn in were counting towards that. A little confusing. I wish that cap was gone, by the way. Can't stand the battle point cap. But I do love that we have all these rewards coming in for Survivor's Bane. So in a nutshell, Survivor's Bane is a win for you.
Oh yeah, totally. And going back to your battle pass points, actually, if you want to pull that back up on that. So I learned this the hard way. Thank you commenters who called me out for being wrong, but it did help and I learned something from it. So that cap is from when you earn them, not necessarily when you collect them. So you earned 2,400 battle pass points last week. So I also did last week, and I usually don't. So just to give like everyone a train of thought, like I don't ever cap that. And I was very surprised that I did. I think I capped it late Saturday night going into Sunday. Which was fine. I just took sort of like a day off, and then I have stuff to catch up on today in Diablo Immortal, which is awesome. But yeah, so that's actually a battle points earned, not necessarily turned in. So yeah, I didn't know that. It's not incredibly obvious, but yeah, that's where that comes from.
And you know what's funny though? I had earned my battle pass cap, but I was still able to collect more battle points. I just wasn't turning anything in, which was weird. Maybe all it was letting me turn in was I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that actually went. Because I'm not sure. I didn't count up how many I actually turned in this morning. Potentially grinding for nothing, but either way, it was all in good fun for experience and materials. But yeah, I also love Survivor's Bane. The last time around, I played it with the Barbarian, and obviously, at least for me, when I play Survivor's Bane, I really like doing a whirlwind. It's one of my favorite things just because of the heal you can get with it. So you're playing as a barb, you're doing Survivor's Bane with whirlwind, it kind of feels like a barb. But I'm doing it with the Necro now, and it was just really cool because you realize that it doesn't matter what class you are. It's really just all about the skills that you get. Your class doesn't matter whatsoever in Survivor's Bane, which is cool. But all right, we spoke a lot about that one, which in my opinion and my thought is it was the best thing. But we also had the new PvP mode come to the game, right? So that's, I just put out a video on this one yesterday. I tested it out, you tested it out, and I want to know your initial impression of it.
Yeah, so went in, and first thing, I didn't realize it was going to be ranked. I knew that it was a new PvP mode, but I didn't realize it would actually be its own rank from like Bronze, Silver, Gold, and Legend. Being that it's only out for a month, I think that's going to be a really interesting grind for people. I'm not committing to trying to push to Legend. I've never gotten Legend in general, but I don't think that's within my wheelhouse currently. I went into one game and got completely steamrolled. It was not balanced at all. I had fun. I enjoy the game mode. This is the first time I've actually been able to enjoy it with my true resonance, because I've only played like the free-to-play version. I've never done the actual Accursed Towers battle. So that was an interesting experience. Again, more so negative because I got rolled over, but I still had fun doing it. It's interesting. What about you? How was your first game?
So my first game, I also got steamrolled to the point where I was recording a video doing my first impression. I'm like, I cannot post this. It was just just sitting there dead for so long. With that being said, I just put a new Necromancer build together last night for PvP. I'm not a big PvP guy, so I'm not really great anyways. But
it was the build's fault. I got you.
No, that is just that's honestly just an excuse. So I killed that video. I said this one is not going to be shown, and I played a second round where I performed a lot better. I only had one death. We ended up winning that one, so it was honestly a better representation of what the game looks like versus me just showing a "you're dead" screen. But not being a PvP person, not being a massive spender in the game, you know, I'm only sitting with what, 1,500 resonance right now. I actually got rid of a lot of the 5 stars, doing different stuff now. I'm gonna struggle in those types of game modes, especially when I'm new to the Necro and really new to Necro PvP. It's gonna be a challenge and a huge learning curve. But what I did really like was the mode itself. I don't love Battlegrounds because I don't love the whole event itself. Like, I don't love how you have to escort, defend, and do all that stuff. Here, it reminds me of like Domination, where you just need to hold down a tower, hold down as many as you can, and defend them. It was even for both teams, not maybe by player even, but the task was the same for both teams. So there wasn't an offense-defense. And I actually really like the game mode. I could see it being something that like beats out Battlegrounds and is more fun for people to play. I don't know though. I'm not a player of that type of stuff on the regular, but I quite liked it. And you did mention something here. Notice it says season 1 up top.
Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah.
So season 1 is a month long. Does that mean after this month there's going to be just another season?
Interesting.
And another thing is, I don't see any times. I think it's just on from now until then. I don't think
go back one screen, like when you talk to the Battleground guy. I think it offsets normal Battleground. Yeah, right there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, I would have loved that. So now it almost looks like you always have PvP available though. So you can either do regular Battleground or the tower, which for PvPers is probably awesome. That means you can literally just PvP all day in between the two modes.
I didn't even notice this down here. So because it's offsetting, I was saying that I wonder if this is going to, you know, dry up Battlegrounds and then it's going to mess up the queue. But now seeing that, this is actually perfect. It makes sense that this would be on all the time and just we'd have different seasons coming and going.
Oh yeah, totally. I think it's interesting. I agree with you 100% that the idea of having a balanced structure from the beginning, regardless of resonance and everything else of the players and the specs and the classes, but just the map is fair. To your point, the objective is the same. Go out there, either slay or capture towers. I very much agree with the domination thing. I actually hope that it does replace the actual Battleground. And now I'm not a big PvPer either. I've been doing more so this last season. I'm trying to get to Legend and I'm Gold 1. So I've come someplace, from my Bronze, hierarchy.
Where I am. Yep.
That's my usual character arc there is in Bronze. But yeah, so I think it would be fair. I love the current Battlegrounds in terms of the Shadow and Immortal fights, which is what it was designed for. But from an actual just daily Battleground, it's not fair. And there's obvious that the development team agrees, because they're constantly tweaking that all the time.
No, I agree. I don't think Battlegrounds is going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't, actually. There's definitely people that enjoy Battlegrounds. I'm not one of them. I don't love the mode. But this one I do like. And I like the idea of them on offset times. Now, maybe one day, I mean, it's been a year and a half, man. Maybe in another year, they'll come out with another different mode, right? And then there'll be either a bigger rotation or one that comes and goes. Who knows? But I do like that a new game mode has come out that actually matters what your build is and what your resonance is. Because when you think about the big spenders inside of the game, this is where they can excel, and this is what they're spending for, these types of events.
Oh, for sure.
So I think it's smart of the developers to build something for those players that are really the ones monetarily supporting the game. At least a big part of that. With that being said, we have tons of other game modes that come into the game that are PvP focused, that strip away resonance and drop us all down to level 60. So I think there's a good balance for all players.
Totally agree. One of which is actually out now, which is a good transition. So Alley of Blood is out. Have you tested it yet, or have you been testing all the other new things?
Yeah, I've done some Alley of Blood. I'm okay with it. It's fine. I liked it a lot when it first came out. I think we actually spoke about it in the past when it first came to the game. And I really like the idea of it. It's like a single lane MOBA themed mode, right? And it was okay. Again, I haven't done this since I switched to a PvP type Necromancer. I was using my summons build, which was absolutely horrible. But this game mode I actually think is nice as well, because here you're going into something with everyone's on an even playing field as far as resonance goes. And something I like here too is you could even use rank 1 5-star gems, put them in all your slots, and you can get the benefits of those versus having to have rank 10s, which most people don't. So
agreed. Definitely a different strategy, different build altogether. You can't use your second main hand, second offhand, you know. So yeah, definitely a different sort of build, different game mode. I love it from just a free-to-play balance going in. I usually try to farm it as much as I can, but right now, like, there's so many new things going on in the game. I feel like I don't have time to do it, but yeah, I'm glad that this one's back too.
It's nice when we say that we don't have time to do everything. It means there's a lot of options, right? I'll sometimes find myself open world farming or circle farming instead of doing some of the events, just because I'm fixated on like my level and or finding gems. Although here you can win some gems for doing this. I'm always trying to find gems that I could sell for platinum, you know, just trying to get my platinum up. But yeah, this is a good game mode. Again, I want to be a bigger PvP player. I just need to practice and be better at it to have more fun, because it's not fun when you get your butt kicked all the time.
True. So, very true.
That's with anything though. All right, so what else came new? We have this new Fire Before Darkness, which is essentially just do the daily stuff and you get yourself rewards for it. Again, more battle points though that are being given out pretty generously, which some people may not care about battle points, but when you progress your battle pass, it gives you those big jumps in XP too, which is quite nice. Let me jump back over to the patch notes really quickly. What else? Oh, we had new essences that came, right? Have you gotten any of the new essences for your class?
Yeah, how did we forget that? That was probably the biggest part of the patch.
I know.
Yes, so I was on the wizard of it to start off. I got very excited with the summon build. I had no luck. I think I had one essence and it wasn't even one of the summoning ones. And then I saw other YouTubers were covering the content and I was like, wow, that looks cool, but I don't feel the need to cover that. Like, it felt like it was very much covered everywhere. So I actually switched to the Blood Knight, and I have all but one essence, and I'm loving it. The Blood Knight, it was a very fast class already for farming, but a little clunky in my opinion. And some of the new essences made it a little bit more interesting. You have some different strategies you can use in farming, maybe a little bit more casual approach, or just the active, overworld farming like we're used to with all the circles. I love it. Now, I haven't been on the Necro in a while, so I see you looking now. Do you have any of the new ones?
I have some of the new ones. So for me, like I mentioned, until yesterday, I was a summons guy, and there was really nothing exciting for summons at all. But there may be some things in here for PvP. Like here, enemies affected by your Dark Curse are weakened, increasing your critical hit chance by against them by 19%. That's one that I've unlocked, but I don't use Dark Curse. And I got 2 or 3 of them total, so it's probably these last 2 here. Grim Scythe now empowers you with Grim Calling, causing your primary attacks to unleash slashing scythes when they hit enemies. Grim Scythe damage is increased by 18%, and I think I got the shield as well. No, I didn't. I've only gotten 2 of the 8.
Okay.
of these 6, I'm sorry. And I have my loyalty bonus to get this one. When Corpse Lance attacks an enemy, it has a 10% chance to generate a corpse.
Ah,
Funny thing is, I haven't gotten this one since the loyalty bonus has been set. So I've been getting the other ones instead. But
nice.
either way, I have all of the other essences for the Necromancer, which is really what I use for most of my builds. But like anything else, when you have new essences coming out, new builds come to the game, which is exciting for all classes anyway, no matter what.
For sure.
But you put out a video on your Blood Knight. I saw you with the Forever Bats, man. I was just watching that
Forever Bats. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, definitely different. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, well, A, you should, but B, the bats will just stay up forever and they will just eat your life. Quite literally, they just consume your health bar, and as long as you don't run out of health, you can keep your bats up forever. Now, one of the first essences that came to the game for Blood Knight was a pair of pants that makes it so your bats also heal you. So that combination between shoulders and pants alone will make it so you just don't die as long as you're in combat. And also it only has like a 1-second cooldown, so you can toggle it off and on really easily. So a lot of little interesting builds there. I'm practicing with some like single target builds, and it doesn't feel as good as other options, but for farming and for like dungeons where you're just going to be fighting all the time, feels really good. So not top tier damage, but at least consistent damage.
Yeah, I like that you were talking about. It's a great farming build. You could just literally run around in circles and it'll do all the farming for you. That's great for like TV time with the wife, you know?
Absolutely.
Just one thumb, pretend you're not playing, watch the TV. Wife doesn't get mad and you get some good gear along the way.
Maybe less mad, but yeah.
less mad, yeah, less mad. So overall, I mean, your thoughts on the update? Because when it initially dropped, the update dropped, there was like nothing. It was the new essences, and I'm like, this is a little disappointing. It just took a little time for the events to start popping in. I think the biggest thing from this update was the new PvP mode. So what's your thought overall of the update? Do you give it a win or do you give it a eh?
So yeah, at the beginning, I was actually very disappointed. I think I even made a video about being disappointed about it. But yeah, so I mean, the essences were great. They were a fun little introduction, but I felt like we needed at least like one more event to go along with the update. But now that, to your point, everything is out, I'd probably give it like a 7.5 out of 10. You know, it was at first it probably would have been like a 3, so it's come a long way. But yeah, I think the different builds that I'm seeing, both from like barbarians, blood knights, now crusaders and wizards can do summons like necromancers, like that's crazy. So I love that for everyone, because that means everyone has something new to do in the game. And then the new game modes are interesting, even if I got, you know, face rolled and the new tower one.
Just the start, man. It's just the start. I think
just the start.
I think if you're a PvP player, if you're someone that lives and dies PvP, this is maybe one of the best updates for you, right? Maybe Blood Knight may have been the best because that was amazing in PvP, but having a new mode where you can utilize everything that you spend inside of the game is huge for those players. I'm not one of those players, so I guess it depends on who you are. I also thought this was a huge letdown in the beginning. And I'm still not my favorite update because I'm not one of those big PvP players, but someone that is interested like myself in the health of the game, I think this is a really good thing for the game going forward, that we have a new PvP for our big spenders, whales, even mid spenders, or honestly even free-to-play players that like playing Battlegrounds now can play Tower War as well. So having a new PvP mode of that type I think is good, which for me tells me that this is a win update, even though it's not something that was the most exciting for me personally, I guess.
Oh, for sure. And I think, honestly, even if you're a lower resonance player or a free-to-play player, I think you too, to your point, can enjoy the new PvP mode, but just give it about a week when or all of the higher resonance players kind of, it gets a little bit more balanced, right? So everyone's at like the level playing field at bronze 1 right now. So you go in and you see all kinds of different matchmaking going on. But after about a week, when it sort of like stabilizes, I think it'll be a little bit more balanced and more normal. So I think at that point, we'll all enjoy it a little bit more.
And I know that I'm going to have in the comments people saying, I have 1,500, I have 2,000 resonance, and I do great in Battlegrounds, and I do great in PvP, and I am not saying that you need to be a whale to enjoy or to see success in PvP. I'm not going that route. I'm just saying that for me, I'm saying my experience. So overall, I think it was a very good update for the general Diablo Immortal community, for the game overall, the health. I mean, we're at the 1.5 year mark, a 1.5 year plus at this point in time, which is crazy.
Time flies.
Yeah, and I appreciate you coming on. Misery Hates Company puts out videos every single day for Diablo Immortal over on his YouTube channel. I'll be linking it in the description of this video, so I really would recommend you go check out his channel. If you like his stuff, give him a subscribe as well. He's a great dude and puts out some good content.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Always love collabing with you. Always a good time.
Yes, it is. All right, man. I'll talk to you guys in tomorrow's video.